Well, it looks as if there has been a little bit of hanky panky going on. The CEO of an election software firm held on ID info theft charges. Here he is, Eugene Yu. He's a businessman. This is a photo of him speaking at a debate in 2014 at the Cook County High School there in Georgia, where he's from. Hmm. Funny thing is when I started digging up his name, I found another Eugene Yu, and it looks as if they've sort of confused the two. But I do have a few other stories that I'd like to indulge you with for this lunch hour. In Los Angeles, the founder and CEO of a software company targeted by election deniers was arrested on Tuesday on suspicion of stealing data on hundreds of Los Angeles County poll workers. Conic Corporation's Eugene Yu, 51, really, was arrested in Meridian Township of Michigan and held on suspicion of theft of personal identifying information, while computer hard drives and other digital evidence were seized by investigators from the county district attorney's office, according to the office. Local prosecutors will seek his extradition to California. Now, this gentleman is also, hey Marty, hey Charlie, the gentleman is also, well, I'll show you some of the other stuff that I found. I found it very curious. It's very, very curious. It says, quote, "We are continuing to ascertain the details of what we believe to be Mr. Wu's wrongful detention by the Los Angeles County authorities," Connick said in a statement that ended, quote, "Any LA County poll worker data that Connick may have possessed was provided to it by LA County and therefore could not have been stolen as suggested." Connick is a small company based in East Lansing, Michigan, and in 2020 it won a 25-year, excuse me, let me correct that. It won a 5-year, $2.9 million contract. Again, the correction. In 2020, it won a 5-year, $2.9 million contract with the Los Angeles County for software to track election workers' schedule, training, payroll, and communications, according to the county registrar recorder, the county clerk, Dean C. Logan. Connick was required to keep the data in the United States and only provide access to citizens and permanent residents, but instead, it stored it on servers in the People's Republic of China, and the DA's office said. The DA's office didn't specify what specific information allegedly was taken, but officials said that it would only involve poll workers, not voting machines or vote counts, and didn't alter election results. Well, of course, that's what you would have to say. But there's a nice quote here from the district attorney, George Gascon. He said this in a statement: "But security in all aspects of any election is essential so that we all have full faith in the integrity of the election process." Here's another quote: "With the midterm general election in 35 days, our focus remains on ensuring the administration of this election is not disrupted." This comes from Dean C. Logan, the Los Angeles County Registrar Recorder County Clerk. There wasn't any evidence that any election worker was bribed or extorted in an investigation was pending, and the investigation was pending into whether any of the data went into inappropriate hands. Well, of course it did. If it went to China on the servers, you think they're going to do? Just say, okay, hey, hold it over here. No problem. We got you. No worries at all. It's all safe with us. Connick previously said that all the data for its American customers were stored on servers in the United States, the New York Times reported on Monday. The paper reported that Connick and Yu was born in China, and they became the target of claims by election conspiracy theorists that the company had secret ties to the Chinese Communist Party and had supplied information on 2 million poll workers. There wasn't any evidence to support those claims, but Yu received threats and went into hiding, the paper said. Connick also has contracts with Allen County, Indiana, and DeKalb County, Georgia, the Times said. On its website, Conic said it currently has 32 clients in North America. Now, I am going to be so bold to go into the other stories because I was going to refrain. But having read that, as you know, I read them with you for the first time. I get the gist of the story, but with you, I read it for the first time. So it's new for both of us. But with that said, there's a little bit more that I think might interest you. So let's look a little bit further into this gentleman's background, who he is, what he's about, okay, what he's run for in the past, if anything. I found a photo company, a company that is a photography company, and this was on their website when I pulled his name, Eugene Yu for U.S. Senate. Let that sit there for just a quick second. Let me blow it up for you. Go ahead and get a gander. See how all this stuff works together? See how it all works together? So now he says that he's proud to be an American here. And here is something that the owner of this website, Sally Kohler Photography, it's public record. It's all public. She says, "Hey, everybody, on Sunday, I photographed Eugene Yu. Eugene is running for the United States Senate. We took some nice pictures of his family and photographed Eugene in different spots around Augusta, Georgia. It's Augusta, Georgia. The photo session was great. It was awesome getting to know Eugene. I found him to be very down to earth, caring, and intelligent. He also has a great sense of humor. I think he will make an outstanding senator, and I encourage you to check him out and like his Facebook page." This was the photo that she did for him as he was running for U.S. Senate. Did I mention that the information was stored on servers in China? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Didn't want to leave that out. So let's look at a little bit more. It's a lot more, but I wanted to bring this to you. Don't you like all that clicking that she does? Yes, she in the third person. Here we go. It's another story. I think we're going to do this one. Here we are. So, same thing. Election software CEO arrested over data theft, storing data on servers in China. Again, for those coming in, another story, same topic, different spin. The head of Conic Corp, a Michigan-based software company, was arrested on October 4th for allegedly stealing and storing personal data of Los Angeles County election workers on servers in China. Conic CEO, Eugene Yu, 51, was arrested in Michigan on charges of stealing the personal identifying information of Los Angeles County election workers, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Investigators also seized computer hard drives and other digital data relevant to the case. The office stated that it would seek Yu's extradition to Los Angeles. According to the office, Conic won a 5-year, $2.9 million contract with Los Angeles County in 2020 for an election worker management system named the Poll Chief software that was used by the county in the last California election. Now, the software was designed to assist the poll workers' assignments, communications, and payroll. Los Angeles County District Attorney Mr. Gascon said in a statement. Under the contract, Conic was supposed to securely maintain the data and only provide access to U.S. citizens and permanent residents. But investigators found that the company stored their data on servers in China. Same quote here. In this case, the alleged conduct had no impact on the tabulation of votes and did not alter the election results. Again, but the security and all the aspects of any election is essential so that we all have full faith in the integrity of the election process. Here's the rub. The New York Times reported on October 3rd that Conic had become a target of allegations that the company had ties to the CCP and had given China access to the personal data of 2 million poll workers. Allegedly. The software company denied having any ties with the CCP and said that all of the servers were here in the United States, according to the report. Yu's arrest comes weeks after Conic filed a lawsuit on September 12th against the True Vote, a nonprofit vote monitoring organization in Texas, for making false and racist accusations against the company. True Vote lauded Los Angeles County's rapid action in the case and said Connick had obtained an emergency temporary restraining order to limit the organization's ability to speak about the litigation. Quote, True the Vote was sued last month by Connick to try to silence our organization, including obtaining an ex parte TRO conducted in secret so that True the Vote had no opportunity to contest it, the organization said in a statement. Today, Connick CEO Eugene Yu was arrested based on alleged evidence of the very activities he and his organization attempted to suppress. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know what you think. It's pretty curious, don't you? Eh, I mean, it's got some stuff there, right? Eh, I don't know. This is from. mm, See, this is the discrepancy. The picture that we just saw, he does look 63, but the story that we're seeing says that he's 51. One of the old photos that I saw that they had on another company said showed that he looked pretty young. I venture to say there's a little bit of information here that's not being given. But the fact that this cat, irregardless to what side of the fence he's on, I don't play the Republican and Democrat side. I just can't. I just talk about what's right, what's wrong, and I give my opinion about it. But there's still something a little shifty. Something a little shifty here. Something stinks in Denmark. Let me pull this up. Again, haven't read it because I'd like to read it with you. Okay. Yu again challenges Allen with the GOP. Now, in his third run for Congress as a Republican from Georgia's 12th district, Eugene Yu promises to help President Donald Trump fulfill his America First agenda. This was from a few years back. Yu, 63, hails from Augusta, also the hometown of U.S. Representative Rick Allen, whom Yu will challenge in the May Republican primary. This was back years ago, right? Yu first ran in 2014 when Allen won a 5 candidate primary and went on to defeat then Representative John Barrow, the Democrat, who had held the seat 10 years. When Yu ran in 2016, he was Allen's sole in party challenger. Quote, I think that Donald Trump needs my help, Yu said across the table at the Statesboro restaurant. He continues with, he can't fight it all by himself. So I thought I would be the perfect person to advocate with Donald Trump. I can fight for him. Some of the agendas he's trying to achieve, such as immigration and such as trade. Now, here we go. Here goes some discrepancies here, but we're going to go ahead and read it. Just giving it to you what I see. You guys hearing the same thing I'm hearing. A South Korea born lawful immigrant who became a United States citizen in 1977 after first serving in the United States Army, Yu already talked tough against illegal immigration during his campaign. That was 2 years before Trump carried that sort of talk, border, wall, and all, to the front of the 2016 presidential race. Now, he goes on to say, let me click over here to you guys. We're not a banana republic. We are a sovereign nation, you said on that Tuesday of the writing of this document here, of this piece that we're reading. We have to do it by the law, and we need to let everybody know we keep the law. That way, people understand and respect. We always welcome the immigrant, but please come in the legal way. He supports the construction of a wall along the border with Mexico to show the public and the world that we are trying to enforce our law, he says. Now, on trade agreements, it lists this here, how he felt about NAFTA, the TPP, which to me just changed clothes. That's all it did. TPP went from being the TPP to changing into a totally different outfit, but it added a couple of baubles and earrings on it. Just a couple, just a couple little baubles here and there. That's it. By Yu's second campaign, he was also blasting the terms of U.S. participation in multinational trade agreements, another stance that Trump has taken to the White House. He said, quote, free trade sounds good, but nothing is free, you said in a 2016 interview, especially all these trade deals. The other countries are taking advantage of us. Specifically, he assailed NAFTA, the 1994 North American Free Trade Agreement, as bad for the United States, 1 month after the 12 nation Trans Pacific Partnership was signed in February of 2016. Yu was in Statesboro criticizing the TPP as another bad deal. Trump withdrew the U.S. from the TPP through a presidential memorandum 3 days after his inauguration in January of 2017. He also threatened to withdraw from NAFTA, but his administration is currently, and remember, this is an old story, negotiating with Mexico and Canada over proposed changes that could keep the agreement alive. Now, we're talking about the U guy, and I'm actually juxtaposing him at this point to Trump. I'm actually comparing him to him in my own mind because I see exactly where the story is going, why it was key and chief to make sure that he was off the streets before November. Not saying that I agree with anybody, any side, but I can see what I can see. And I just find it quite curious. That's all. Because in a minute, I think they're going to come up and show, well, look, some of these numbers aren't right either. But then they would then cut off their nose to spite their own faces, right? Because then they'd have to say, well, we said there was nothing, that there was no, integrity, election integrity challenges, that all the election was a very fair thing. So they're probably not going to do that, but who cares? They don't care. They would do it. They would do it, and they wouldn't even mind. They would take the heat. They wouldn't care as long as they could get somebody up under the bus changing the oil. Okay, looking at all the valves and looking at all the pistons and getting all up under there and doing their thing. Look at this chassis. Just get under the bus. You also supports, again, this is past, President Trump in getting tougher on North Korea. Well, I wonder how that would have worked right now, which tested a nuclear weapon and several missiles in 2017, while Trump and North Korea's supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, exchanged threatening statements. You said the United States should choke the North Korean regime all the way economically. Softball is not going to work. It didn't work, he said. Some people keep saying, we don't want to have a war with North Korea. We need to continue talks. Well, we've been talking for the last 45 years, and enough is enough, he says. Related to trade, Yu, the gentleman we're talking about that was arrested, wants to restore mandatory country of origin labeling of imported food items. Nothing wrong with that. Allen voted for legislation in December of 2015 that removed that requirement for imported meat and fresh produce. Why are we doing that? I got to vent. I got to tell somebody, and I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to tell my friends in the chat. Why do we import fruit and vegetables from other countries when we continue to tear up our land instead of just allowing us to grow the fruits and vegetables, bugging out of everybody's business, taking Monsanto seeds and flushing them down the toilet and letting everybody just be normal? Again, this is a rant. This is my venting. This is what I just think. I'll get back to this piece. Humor me for a second. I don't understand why that's what we're doing, other than the fact that I know that it's a terrible, terrible task that they're doing, and it's a terrible, terrible agenda that they're trying to fulfill. But it just bugs me to no end to see all of the land that we have while driving in Mississippi, while driving in the rural areas of Alabama, while driving across this wonderful, beautiful, lush nation, to see all of these acres and acres and acres, knowing that they're owned by terrorists. It just bugs me. And then you go to the grocery store thinking that you're going to get a nice piece of fruit. You're thinking you're going to, bright and summer day, you're going to bite down into this peach and it's going to take you back to this nostalgic place in your heart when you were only 12 years old, walking with your friends, skipping rocks at the lake, and you bite into that peach. You think you want to taste some nice, sweet juiciness where the juice is so much and that peach is just so ripe that the juice is sliding down your arm. But instead, you end up almost breaking your two front teeth that you'll have to ask Santa for from Christmas on this hard, tasteless facsimile of a peach. Yeah, enough is enough, Felicia. They don't care to hear this garbage. Nobody cares about this stuff, Felicia. Get off your soapbox, girl. Get back to it. Anyway, thank you for indulging me. I appreciate you. So, this cat, in my opinion, as I read this, because remember, we read together, all right? It says also at the table for the interview were Yu's campaign manager Bill Thomas of Statesboro and communications director Tony Powers, a former talk radio host from Augusta. His name rung a bell when I saw that. Powers called Yu a real constitutional conservative. That's why, that is why I decided to support him and get involved with this campaign, because he's actually has great common sense and understands human nature and how that really affects our society and how our laws that we write to try to correct human nature are some of the things that have created problems, Power says. Powers, at that time, called Allen Rhino Rick, an assertion that the incumbent is a Republican in name only. Among other things, he criticizes Allen for voting for some of the short term spending resolutions that fund the government in the absence of a regular budget. With the most recent negotiations, Republicans in Congress obtained a needed increase in military spending, but in exchange, they gave Democrats everything they wanted and more, Powers said. Huh. Yes, you can vent with me, Mary. You can definitely vent with me. Alan Davis. Say my name, say my name. He say I love to hear my name. But it's just a hot rump mess, right? It's just this yikes. So anyway, if we all put on our tinfoil hat fedoras or our tinfoil fedoras, I think that we would all quickly see that if there is anything that they're attempting to do with this guy, and just from face value without really digging any deeper, I think we all see what this is. Right? Sundown, OK Corral, meet me at dawn, come out into the middle of the city square. Uh-huh. So this guy apparently was hiding out. He was hiding out. They he was afraid, according to what they say. Now, Yu said that he supports the recent tax cut, but also wants to see cuts in spending. However, he said the military spending is exempt from the need for cuts. Sounds like a good guy on paper to me. I mean, to be honest with you, he says a lot of the stuff that I think are some of the conservative talking points. He does. And that's what, and I think that's what gets most of us who are people who are just of faith and, just love our country and just love who we are as a nation or were as a nation. Those are some of the things that I think we want to hear. We want to hear that you're going to make our military strong, not depleted. We want to hear these things. So as I get into this, reading this with you, again, reading it for the first time with you, I'm beginning to see maybe his arrest was an arrest of convenience, since they're specifically looking at the poll workers' information and not necessarily the votes themselves. Is that fair to say, you all? Let me know what you think. Is that fair is that what you're getting from what we're reading? You see what I mean? From what we're reading, is that what you're getting? Rusty, hey. Hey, Chanel, how are you? You see? Hey, Marty, Chad. So what do you think, Starfire Horizon? I mean, as we're beginning to break this down and read it together, I'm beginning to see that maybe because of his views, perhaps, especially considering that it came from Los Angeles that they zapped him. And he said that they had, what, was it 32 other clients nationwide? Could be. It could be. I'm not going to say that there is no possibility. I'm not going to say that. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. Yeah, it's important to note that. Yeah, anything is possible. So I think so. Let's see. See, if we got a new comment here. Oh, he's saying, "Hey, I was hoping it was Unison. I used to work for one of the subsidiaries back in 2013. I haven't seen their name pop up anywhere yet, but I suspect there's some below the board stuff there. Probably is. It probably is. And I think all of us, and you guys tell me what you think. I think all of us can say that we have seen at one point or another a company that we work for that had some questionable activity, not necessarily to this extent. And then I think that we all were sort of waiting after maybe you left, maybe you worked there for 10 years or whatnot, and then you waited, waiting to see the other shoe drop, and it did, some didn't. So the election CEO, the software CEO has been running for Senate. Not only has he run for Senate, he also owns the company. He's also been in the military. All right. He became a citizen in 1977. He loves the country according to what he has here and according to what we see. I think there's a very strong possibility that this guy could be a pawn. He could be targeted. And he could just be guilty. Could be any of the above. But as I read, I see everything they dislike greatly. I see everything they dislike about him already. Let's say it like that. Well, I can see why you would make them mad. Being arrested in California, in Los Angeles, or being extradited anyway, they're going to extradite him. You said that he does support the tax cuts. That's great to see the military spending is exempt. That would have been an awesome thing. But could he have done that when he got into the place to be? Would he have been able to do that? That's the question. Because a lot of people have some great ideas. A lot of people have some exceptional ideas, but they're not always able to fulfill those things because when they get in there, I believe they see that the party isn't what they thought it was going to be. It was a different party altogether. You went in there ready to put your work in, walked in there with your overalls or your dungarees on and your work boots. You got your shovels in tow. You get in there ready to shake some stuff up. And you feel that you're going to be the person to do it. You get in there and then all of a sudden you discover, well, hey, these folks are all dressed up in tuxedos. They're not ready to work. Hey, Drea, they're not ready to work at all. Well, they lied to me. They made me think that this job was going to be a lot of hard work, and that's what I'm ready to put in. And now all of a sudden, when I get to talking about the work, they stare me in my face and hand me a shot of bourbon. Hey, let's just talk. This is what we want you to do. This is what we want you to do. This is what we want you to do. Right? And then they have to bend a little to the left and bend a little to the right. And then they have to mix it up in the middle. And then somewhere in between the bending to the right and the left, they absolutely lose themselves and become a part of the problem. They really do. He says, we're facing all kinds of threatening from the other countries. China continuously threatening us, you said. We must keep our strength. And helping the military budget is not really wasting the money. Because all of it goes back to the public defense industries and personnel jobs. Well, he wasn't wrong there either. He wasn't wrong there either. He referred to foreign aid, or at least aid to countries that express dislike for the United States, as one type of unnecessary spending that he would like to see eliminated. Down to earth, he says, listen to what he says. If I cuss you out all the time, would you loan me the money? Why? Would you loan me the money? The guy seems like common sense here. I'm starting to like him. As we read and learn together, I don't know, you guys, I'm starting to like him. I am starting to like him. I don't know about you, but I am starting to like him. Mm-hmm. Seems likable. Seems likable to me. Seems likable to me. I am starting to like the guy. Why would you loan me money if I cussed you out? That's what he said. Why would you give me money if I cussed you out all the time? Would you come and say, here, I need some money? Well, you done cuss me out. Okay, here you go. Take the money and run. Take this money and go. I love it when you cuss me out. That's what he said. He said, if I cussed you out all the time, would you loan me the money? That's a good point. He says, the United Nations, the majority of them are against America. My God, we funded that. If I was Donald Trump, he says, I'd tell the UN, get the hell out of here. Go to Geneva or somewhere else. Yeah, starting to like homeboy. Yeah, y'all probably should have heard this kind of stuff. Because I'm beginning to really like him. Yu has a little paperback book, Restoring the American Dream: Why America First Works. Published in 2017, the first chapter gives a brief autobiography from his arrival in Augusta as a teenage immigrant joining his parents in the United States to his two previous congressional campaigns. Yeah, I think we see. Before serving as a military police officer in the Army. Yeah, he sold me. I'm where do I pay? And give me my receipt in a bag. Yu first became a firefighter. He later served as a Richmond County Sheriff's deputy, then worked for and eventually owned a company that refurbished used military trucks for export. He is now retired from business. Yu and his wife, Joni, have been married 39 years and have a son, Eric, and daughter, Jody, and one grandchild. Other chapters of the book give Yu's thoughts on various topics, and the final chapter, Eugene's Agenda, Restoring the American Dream, outlined his platform. Yu said, to anybody talking about the American dream, I'll be the perfect example. I lived it. Two Democratic candidates from Statesboro plan to be on their party's ballot 2022. The ballot vying to face the Republican nominee November 6th Federal Election Commission filings show and two independent candidates for the 12th district. Wait a minute. Let me come back out of here and let me get to the original story, because when I'm reading it in this immersive reader, what happens is you lose it. Let me see something here. Okay, to get to the wow. So this May 22 didn't have a comma outside of it, so that means that it was just May 2022. 22. That was it. Just 22. Nonetheless, I want to tell you something. All of this stuff just stinks to high heaven, and it's all obviously opportunistic for them to do any of this stuff now. I don't know anything about what happened. I don't know anything about what's going on. I don't know anything about the legality, the validity, or any part of it. But I can tell you that if they put this story out thinking that people would not dig and find who he was, and thought that when they did dig and find who he was, they were not going to, they were going to still believe the stuff. I just can't see it. I mean, he may have done it. Who knows? People get desperate and do lots of stuff. But the deal is what was the issue? What was the true issue? And they share stuff with California. Has a lot of nerve sometimes talking about, well, look, they're dealing with the Chinese. Really? Do you really want to go there? Do you really want to have that conversation? Baby, do you really? Do you really want to go there, California? Okay? Do you really want to go there? Mm, mm, mm. That's it right there. That's it right there, Starfire. What Starfire said right here. There you go. There you go. So, there's that. There is that. Hmm. I don't know, you guys. I just thought I'd bring that to you because when I first saw the first piece of it and then started digging around and muddling around into this guy's past, and as I began to see a little bit more titles of the stories and begin to make sure that they, were in line. Um, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Call Unknown. Call Unknown says, I think the election story is more about bigger issue of election data shared overseas. That's not supposed to happen. Most of our sensitive data is actually stored overseas, even Fed government data. Yeah, every state is doing this. So do you see what I'm saying? That goes right in line with my rant about the peaches. My rant about the tomatoes, even the tomatoes. Nothing tastes good anymore. It's like, are you hungry? Nah. Meh. You want something to eat? I'd love a big salad, but they don't taste the same anymore. So, anyway, everybody says, well, grow your own. Yeah, okay, we'll grow our own. What do we put? Well, where do you get your fertilizer now? Where do you get your, what type of, soil are you using? What are you doing? Mm-hmm. You see? Overseas storage. It's all grand sabotage. And every time they say that there was a breach, no, there wasn't a breach. That means you guys just sent more stuff over. And if I see anything weird going on, I'm going to just attribute it to the breach. The breach. Yeah, so that's it. I want to do this story with you guys while we're hanging out together. Hey, baby. Hey. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this one right here. I wanted to bring this up because she's one of my favorite people to dislike. She's one of my favorite people to dislike. And that is Cheney. Nothing happened during the election. Everything was okay. Everything was fair. All of it was equitable. Nobody cheated. Nobody forced anything. It's all okay. Let me give you the whole screen. One of my least favorite people, Cheney, urges the Arizona voters to reject GOP candidates for governor's Secretary of State. Representative Liz Cheney, a Republican, de facto, canceled, Wyoming, sticking her nose in places it should not be, that it ought not be. When you put your nose in the wrong place, you end up putting something on the tip of it that smells pretty tart, pretty bad. Well, Cheney urged voters in Arizona to reject Republican nominees for governor and Secretary of State, describing them as threats to democracy because they have worked to overturn election results in 2020 and indicated they may not accept the outcome this year. Now, there have been some rumors, and I know that you guys have all heard some of them. Thank you, Marty. Hey, Jean Blair. I know that you guys have heard some of the rumors. There's like scattered rumors about Arizona. And Arizona, I've heard things about them saying, well, they just got through fighting that there was evidence of X and there was evidence of this, and then there's no evidence. Now there's evidence. Now they just got through doing all the count and they found out that they got to recount this place. There's some there. There is some there. Because if it were not so, they wouldn't be sending shoot him in the face. What's his face? Cheney daughter to have anything to say. Shoot him in the face. Shoot him in the face. Apologize later. Did you do that? Nope, it was an accident. He's still alive? Well, yeah, but he's badly. Oh, well, okay. Better luck next time. If you care about democracy and you care about the survival of our republic, then you need to understand that we all have to understand that we cannot give people power who have told us that they will not honor elections. Cheney who really should go sit herself down someplace. Humble yourself, woman, Cheney said during an appearance at the Arizona State University. What are they going to do? Bunch of liberal kids at school and people that go to visit her, to go to visit these types of meetings. Who cares? But we'll see. The Congresswoman, one of former President Donald Trump's fiercest critics, is vice chair of the House committee investigating the farce that is. The farce. That's what I said. You see it, and I'm not going to say it, but you see it, and I said it's a farce. She spoke late Wednesday at the McCain's Institute. Boy, he was a piece of work. Defending American Democracy series. What you gonna say it enough until it just becomes, just tear up everything. Democracy. Boy, if people really knew what democracy meant, they would stop running around touting that. And I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the puppets that she and others like her have created. They would stop saying that garbage. And if you black and you listening, I'm talking to you. Cheney's targets were Republican gubernatorial nominee Kari Lake, a former television reporter and Secretary of State candidate Mark Finchem, a state legislator. Lake had been endorsed by Trump and, like Finchem, falsely claimed the 2020 elections were stolen from Trump. Listen, let me shut up. Hoo-wee, y'all sure know how to put it on thick. And then you got Big Mama running around all over. Let me come on the side here. Let me come where you guys are. Let me just say this. You got Big Mama. And Big Mama's running around saying, this is the election integrity right there in Georgia. Abrams. Now, it was stolen. My election was stolen. I should have been in that office, but they stole the office from me. That would have been my house, but they stole it. Then turn the tables. Yeah, no, there was no election problems. There was no election fraud. Everything was right. It was above board, but they did X and they did Y and they did Z. I tell you guys from Georgia, if you allow this mess to go forward, you guys are doomed. If you guys put that chick in office in Georgia, you guys are doomed. Doomed. You're doomed. I'm telling you now, you're doomed. You are doomed if you guys allow this chick to take over. Because once she gets her hands inside of stuff, it's going to be a hot rump mess. She is simply a puppet. I don't care what size she is. I don't care how she looks. You can change the face. You can do whatever you want to do to it. But it is a puppet. She's a puppet. She's a puppet, and it's a very dangerous thing. Very dangerous. Warnock got in. Very dangerous. Change the N to an L, and that's what I think. Warnock got in, changed the N to an L, and that's who I think he is. As well as a little howdy-doody kid. I'll say anything you want me to say as long as you make sure that you pay me today. I'll say it all. What else do you want me to say? I've got you. Don't worry. I'm going to say what you want me to say. And I really don't know what I'm saying, but I'm going to say what you want me to say anyway. As a matter of fact, they probably created me in a lab, but I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but I'm going to say whatever you want me to say. Warnock and that little cat. Yeah, they were paid to be there. So you're in Georgia. You better rally. If you are a voter and you're in Georgia, you better rally. That's all I'm saying. You better rally. Rally and get it together. Yep. So she's sticking her nose out there in Arizona as if people need her to do that. Finchem was at the place that's listed here. I'm not going to say it because I don't agree with it or believe in any of it. When it was attacked. You see this? It was not attacked by. Listen, even if you don't agree with this cat, even if you don't, even if you don't side with him, even if you voted for him and then you saw the light and you decided to come away from the light, Carol Ann, step away from the light and go a totally different direction, then what you're going to understand is we saw some of the same people's faces dressed up in other garb only, months before dealing with other issues. Paid people to hang out. Paid people hanging out. Tearing up, destroying, destructos. All of them. Yes. We saw it all. All of us. We saw it. And they love to harp on this right here. When it was. We got to keep putting this into history. We got to keep publicly saying this. I don't care what side you're on, but don't try to punk me. Please don't do that. Please don't try to punk me. Because that's what you're doing when you keep putting this stuff out here like this. When confirming sleepies win. When confirming sleepies win. Also said he was interviewed by the federal officials about the situation, but denied any wrongdoing. Lake has called President, the guy that's sitting up there right now, half asleep, an illegitimate president, while echoing Trump's false claims about it, saying that it was rigged. I can't read any more of the dribble. Polling shows that Lake is in a statistical tie with her Democratic opponent, Arizona Secretary of State Katie Hobbs. There is no widespread polling in the Secretary of State race, where Finchman faces Democratic Adrian Fontes, the former Maricopa County recorder. Do us a favor, and we got you. Do us a favor, and you're a shoo-in. Pressed by an attendee on what a Republican voter should do, Cheney said, quote, I don't know that I have ever voted for a Democrat, but if I lived in Arizona now, I absolutely would. And for governor and for the Secretary of State. What? You would? Yes, girl, I would. Why? Well, honey, it's just the lesser of the two evils. You know what they say. If I were y'all out here where I'm trying to run amok, I would tell you guys to do what the people who sent me here to talk to you told you to do. Because honestly, I want to take the money that my father put aside for me, and I want to take the money that they gave me after I whined and cried because I lost, because I got to leave in January, and I just want to disappear. But before I disappear, I'm going to do one last thing for them. Well, there'll be other things between now and the day I leave, but I just want to do one last thing for them, and that is put a nail in the coffin here in Arizona and tell y'all, if you thought you was going to vote for a Republican, please don't do it, boo-boo. Go out here and vote for a Democrat, which shows that you, dear, are and have always been beyond a rhino. Never have you had any integrity like your daddy. She get it from her daddy. Both of them. This cat was running everybody's office. He had everybody sitting in their office. I bet he was down there at the Pentagon. I bet you even Colin Powell was like, oh, damn, here he come. Rest his soul. I bet you whenever Condoleezza Rice saw him coming, oh, Lord, where can I hide? Here he come. Like the vice principal who really gets a Jones for the job because they really wanted to get it, but they knew that person was just a little bit too hot-headed, and so they said, well, no, we think you'd be an excellent assistant, but we can't put you at the helm because, yeah. You saw what he did while Homeboy was in office. He kept a red nose. He was probably afraid of him, too. He probably was afraid of him, too. Yeah. Okay? All of them were. So now here she come. She don't look like she's ever really worked a day in her life. You know what I'm saying? You can see some of the women that do get into politics. Some of them look like they've worked. You know what I mean? Well, some look like they've worked too. But you got to work more than your jaws to go up these days. Good old camel toe. Anyway, the comments Wednesday from Cheney are her latest warning to Republicans and come after her sharp break with the GOP following the issue. Man, I'm tired of this stuff. Why did they put that in there? We've already said this. What a writer. Yikes. What a writer. You said the story. You said that piece already. Do you really? What did they tell you? You had a certain amount of words that you had to do, and so you just said, "Let me just keep adding this in here every chance I get, and I'll be done." That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I'll add this about 30 times and put some fluff around it, like I used to in high school and college, thinking that the professor or the teacher didn't see it. I'm not going to read the rest of this. What is this? Her rebuke won her adulation across the aisles, but made her a pariah in her own party. I guess they're talking about what she did with Trump. She was deposed from a leadership position in the Republican House caucus, and in August lost her GOP primary for re-election. That's where you should have parked the car and sat there for a minute. You shouldn't have kept doing this. What you should have done is kept dragging her. And I'm going to tell you why. Even though we're not talking about right or left, here is what I'm saying. If you get in and you're going to play the game, do it, at least do it like the left does, and everybody ride to ride together. But once you start splintering off, you prove the fact that what we have all been saying, there's no right or left, you just prove it. And if you're trying to hide it, you ain't doing a good job, my dear. But anyway, I thought I'd bring that story to you and read it right along with you. No, I didn't see that on Lightfoot. What happened, Mike Freeman? Hey, Mike Freeman. Let me see. What did Mike Freeman see? What did he say? What is he talking about? Where are you? I'm scrolling. I don't see you. Why don't I see you? I guess maybe I'm going to have to come out on the other side. I should be able to see all of you guys. What did Mike Freeman say? Mike Freeman, I can't see you, baby, and I don't know why. I can't see the initial comment. What did Lightfoot do? Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Was she? Beetlejuice. Oh, I'm Beetlejuice. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, just call me Beetlejuice. What was she singing? I wonder what she was singing. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, call me Beetlejuice. I was saying she ain't got nothing on you. Oh, ooh-wee. Oh, Lord of mercy. Good old Beetlejuice, zip it up. I wonder what song she was singing. Wait a minute, Daylight Come. That's it. That's the song from the movie. Yes. Come, Mr. Dolly Man, banana. We wanna go home. Wow, can you imagine that? No, I can't. I can't imagine why she wouldn't tint that hair. Tinted color. No! Callie unknown. No. Oh. Lord of mercy. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness, no. Kelly unknown said earplugs probably wouldn't be good enough. My goodness. I really want to see her do something with that mop she got on. That's not even a mop. That looks like old Tay. Exactly, Chanel. Okay. Exactly. Hey, Steppenwolf, can you imagine? Samantha, hey. Can you guys imagine? Can you just imagine? I keep looking at her and I'm like, why don't you just do something to your hair? Oh, Tay. But I'm gonna tell you, everybody in Chicago is gonna do what I say to do. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Oh, Tay, oh, Tay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She is so vacant. She is so vacant. And I go back and I look at a lot of people's pictures and I'm saying, sis, why couldn't you just fix it? Fix it. Do something. I mean, I have a whole closet full of wigs. All you gotta do is stick one on there. Just pull a wig out. You in Chicago, y'all got wig shops on every corner. You got a wig shop on every corner. I know you do. Any urban area, you're going to have a wig shop. You can't tell me you don't have no wig shop. You just can't tell me. Okay? You cannot tell me. Every sister should have a wig. I don't care what color you are. Everybody should have some emergency hair. Everybody needs a little emergency hair every now and again. Oh, Lord of mercy. I mean, come on. Yeah, I looked at some older pictures of her when she still had the fullness in the face, the hyaluronic acid that was natural was, a little more plump. And then as soon as she got into politics, she said, where do I sign? She signed on the line, soul zapped out the back of her neck. And after that, what we see is what we see. I mean, she could at least put a curling iron in the front of that thing, put one roller at the front or do something to help it roll back a little bit. Just one wiglet. Every woman has to have at least one wiglet. Okay? That's it. Go get you a human hair wiglet, or you can call it a hat with hair, whichever one you decide. But please, please, Beetlejuice, do something quickly. Okay? Just do something. Chad Farber says, let's all sing it out in unison right now. No! Oh. Don't even do it in key. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You say she looked like I know every time that girl mount that podium, she rules the day that she got up there and told everybody about her. Like, yeah, it's me now. I'm in the house now. I'm the one. Okay, I'm the one. I'm the one. And I'm the first of this. I'm the first of that. And I'm the first to be confused because I don't know what I signed up for. Get me out of here, please. Mama. Baba. She need one. She need one, Starfire. But that chick right there, you guys know that there were two dolls. There's the Raggedy Andy and then there's the Raggedy Ann. There's also a black Raggedy Ann doll and a black Raggedy Andy doll. The Raggedy Andy doll has on the overalls, and he's got a really pretty coconut color. The outside of a coconut color skin, and he's got a little frizzy wig. I juxtaposed the picture of her and him together, and I tell you what, spitting image. Oh, Lord of mercy. Well, I think I've wrecked things around here enough. It's time for me to go. Think I've added enough spice to the news today. Oh, good mercy. Good mercy. All right, y'all. Y'all go ahead and take care of yourselves. You know what we always say on any Felicia Lockhart Group publication, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves first, and then I want you to make sure that the next thing you do is you reach around and you help somebody else and take care of them. Not to your detriment, but to make sure that you're taking care of somebody else after you hook yourself up is the goal. And I also want to let you know that until we see each other again, what I want you to do is continue to be blessed. You guys take care. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Helping